Yes, hello. A very warm welcome to the presentation of our Jubilee July campaign. It's great to have you here, and I have to say straight away, brace yourselves. It's going to be new, creative, and different. To start off, I have a quick question for you. Namely, what do you think a glove, a tape measure, a squashed ball, and a golden spine have in common? At first glance, nothing at all. And that was exactly our challenge. How do you bring people together who come to Body Street for completely different reasons? Our answer? An anniversary, a motto, and 3 campaigns. Even though the Jubilee July campaign is deliberately taking a new creative direction this year, it's still not happening in isolation from our overall strategy. The campaign is part of our event stream and therefore part of our clear annual plan, which hopefully you all already have hanging up in your studio. But let's just take a quick look back 2.5 years again. In January 2024 in Munich at the Smart Village. Do you remember? That was Stefan's first appearance with the brand house. In January 2025, there was the big rollout at the summit with the foundation of the new brand identity, the original. And in 2026, the first floor of brand communication will be built. Just quickly remember Stefan's slides. The foundation has been built. Now we're moving on to unique communication. The previous campaigns looked like this. We showed EMS suits, training scenes, and did product communication. The next level of the brand house is now more emotion, more concept, more brand. That means we deliberately want to move away from classic gym communication and focus more on the results people achieve with BodySuite. Because people don't want to buy training, they want emotions, experiences, and adventures. And that was also the guiding idea behind our campaign. In a time when there's absolute information overload, so many possibilities and loads of distractions, people simply have less balance and a lot more frustration. And right now, everyone is watching football anyway and celebrating others. Yes, but what about you? That's why we're putting the full focus on people and everything that contributes to joy in life. That's why we've created 3 campaign worlds. The first world is the joy of life that you celebrate. That means the emotional side of training success. The second campaign world is the training goals you achieve. That means concrete, visible results. We've picked out the 2 main pain points here, losing weight and strengthening your back. The third world is trust as a statement. The original makes the difference. The original gives you security. Let's take a look at the first campaign world. Namely, the joy of life that you celebrate. It's about the question, how do I want to feel? That means I want joy in life, I want to be healthy, have energy and self-confidence. And that's why I'm going to show you the first motif now. Here, we're not selling EMS treatment. We're selling the feeling you get afterwards. So we're not showing sweaty people in the studio now, but rather the result. The poster is always in the studio too, in the fitness environment. And you immediately understand what it's about. It's not just hanging on some building site fence. With all the motifs, we've done this deliberately. Always 2 sentences in the top headline, the statement and the explanation. You'll see it later as well when I show you all the motifs side by side. And that's because customers get the message more quickly that way. And you'll also notice we've always got a little jewellery icon, sort of like a trust badge, on the motifs. The motif also works brilliantly if you have a different call to action in the attention grabber, so a different text. For example, you could say, come to Jubilee Day on your special date. Or even now, book a vitality scan or bring your friends along. To go with that, we've got another motif. Here, we're presenting health as a personal achievement. Other calls to action also work really well in the attention grabber here. You can choose that for yourself. For every campaign theme I show you, we've got two motifs. They're like a pair of siblings that go together. So if you imagine an A board, which has both a front and a back, it works perfectly if you always put together the two motifs from the respective campaign theme. And if you have any questions in the meantime, you can already ask them in the chat. Carsten is kindly collecting them, and I'll answer them at the end of the presentation. But now I'd like to introduce you to the second campaign theme. This one is about the training goals you achieve, in other words, concrete visible results. And it revolves around the question, what do I want to achieve? The main pain point, losing weight. I want to reach me feel-good weight. But another important point is strengthening your back and reducing related complaints. Once again, just for context regarding all the themes that are coming up now, at the moment we're in the middle of the Football World Cup and everything is about football all the time. In the news, you see the FIFA World Cup trophy. But we're not showing the FIFA World Cup trophy. We're celebrating our backs, our spines. And here too, we're not focusing on the problem, but on the result. Everyday life, that becomes easier again. And for this theme as well, we have the perfect sibling pair. This one is all about losing weight. The measuring tape is the medal, and training successes are celebrated like medals. Here too, you can once again adapt the call-out text depending on what you want to do. The visual language. This really is something for strong brands now. For us at Body Street, it works. But if you imagine a small EMS studio, that just wouldn't fit. Or to use Stefan's language, create a unique communication. The first campaign world shows something important. Campaign 1 shows the emotional benefit. Campaign 2 shows the functional benefit. What do I want to achieve? We've just seen what Body Street gives to people. More zest for life, better health, less pain, and looking better. But even though there are big visual differences, in terms of content, most brands in our category are quite similar. We talk about advantages, benefits, about the results and the training. And that's why, when it came to creativity, we asked ourselves a different question. Probably the same one the creatives at Sixt asked themselves, Ball or Puma, for example. What happens if you stop talking about the product and start talking about the brand? Market leaders don't become market leaders by explaining what they do. Market leaders become market leaders by defining what the category is. And that brings us to a campaign that will remind you of something we've done before in the past, and which is radically different from anything Body Street have done in the last 3 years. While the first two campaigns say, look what you can achieve, this campaign says something completely different. If EMS training, then the original. If EMS training, then with you, with the attitude of a market leader. So, to put it clearly, the first two campaigns sell training, training results, and also zest for life. And that's good and right too. But the third one, that sells superiority. It doesn't argue, it doesn't explain, it takes a stance. And that's exactly why you've probably never seen this kind of advertising in the EMS scene before. But that's what we mean by the first stop of the brand house. And the next motif I'm about to show you also works as a fitting second part, which further reinforces the theme of trust. For 19 years, we've delivered on our promises. These two motifs also work for B2B. For example, with the tagline, become a franchise partner with the original. But you can also use it for your staff recruitment. With the tagline, become part of the studio team. Yes, here's our recommendation for you. Less is more. We recommend choosing one campaign theme. Or you can go with one of the first two campaign themes, either Zest for Life or Achieving Training Goals, and then add the third, Trust, as a statement. At headquarters, we're running on 3 campaign themes. The themes are not in direct competition with each other, but the individual messages become weaker if they are played too closely together. That's why at HQ we leave a gap. We also adapt to the World Cup. For example, if Germany lose at midnight on 30 June, we'd start the third campaign, as the flat ball is perfect for it. Then we would immediately launch the third campaign, because the flat ball is simply perfect for it. It fits perfectly. So, what advertising materials will you receive? All the designs you've just seen will be available to you as A1 posters, counter displays, and social media posts. And of course, flyers as well. For those, we'll use the 2 designs from the first campaign, celebrating the joy of life. And with the call-out text, invitation to a trial session. As I said, you can adapt the call-out text if you like. There are more advertising materials as well. They will definitely appear on the info monitor and on the website. You'll receive JPEGs for your studio subpages, the facts will be updated, and the Body Street app too. We're running meta ads and social media in general. Not Radio Body Street, because the campaign world really thrives on its visual language. Where can you find the advertising materials? As always, in the Download Centre and in Pick and Order. In the Download Centre from Monday and available to order directly in Pick and Order from the middle or end of next week. Yes, exactly. Now we'll move on to your questions, if you have any.
I think it's brilliant. Sorry, I'm a bit lost for words at the moment. There really aren't any questions.
None.
It has come up though. Maybe just quickly the question, or rather the follow-up, the typical one I always get. Pick an order. Can I customize the sticker? And in the download center, it's just the regular download package. Well, what's where?
Exactly. In Pick and Order, you can customize the sticker text individually for your own campaign if you want to do something different. In the Download Centre, it's simply for direct download. There, you take what we've prepared now, trial training. That always fits perfectly, and then you can download it and order the PDF you've downloaded from Flyer Alarm. With Pick and Order, the print shop is already directly connected. That's Print24. You don't have to worry about finding your own print shop anymore. It comes directly via Pick and Order, whatever you've ordered. As I said, the advantage is that the print shop is included and you can customize the attention-grabbing text individually.
Very cool. Yannick says, compliments to you. I like it. I like it too, Selena. I think it's fantastic. That's it. I can say no further questions.
Okay, so if you have any questions, you can always get in touch with me afterwards. Give me a call, message me on Teams, or send me an email. Yes, exactly. I'm happy to advise you further, even if you're still running your football campaign at the moment. That's absolutely no problem. For example, the World 2 campaign with the training goals fits perfectly with that. And even after the World Cup, you can still advertise with it because football's always present and it still fits perfectly with the times, especially the summer themes with the man and woman. Summer's only just begun. Here in the recording room, it definitely feels like it already. We've got pure summer here. Exactly, it fits and needn't be mutually exclusive. As I said, get in touch with any questions. Before we finish, one last thing to share.
Was I not involved just now?
And that is, yes, if we live the campaign together from the inside and also carry it outwards with confidence, self-assurance and vision, then something truly great will come of it. And now I wish you a fantastic anniversary with lots of wonderful success stories. And I'd like to say thank you for your attention, thank you for being here, and see you soon.